When your dog follows you everywhere, but ignores your commands, do you actually know what that means? It looks like loyalty, right? Like they just love being around you. But behind that constant following, there's something deeper that most dog owners completely miss. It's one of the most instinctive and emotionally driven behaviors your dog can show. And if you misunderstand it, which most owners do, you might slowly confuse your dog and weaken the trust they're trying to build with you. Let's start with what this behavior really means. 1. It's not obedience, it's attachment. You walk from room to room, and there they are. Bathroom? They're there. Kitchen? Already waiting. Most people think, my dog follows me, so they must respect me. But here's what's actually happening. Following you has nothing to do with obedience. It's about attachment, emotional attachment. Your dog isn't thinking, I should listen to commands. They're thinking, I feel safe near this person. Think about that. For a second, following is passive. Obedience is active. One requires emotional comfort. The other requires clarity, structure, and understanding. Dogs are wired to stay close to what feels safe. That's survival instinct. But listening, that requires learning your language. What this reveals is powerful. Your dog may feel bonded to you, but they don't fully understand you yet. And this is where most owners get it wrong. 2. Your dog doesn't understand your language. You say sit. They stare at you. Or worse, walk away. Frustrating, right? Most people assume the dog is being stubborn or ignoring them. But here's what's actually happening. A 2020 study from the University of Lincoln found that dogs don't naturally understand human verbal commands. They learn through consistent association, tone, and body language. In simple terms, your dog isn't ignoring you. They might not fully understand what you're asking. Think about that for a second. If every time you said a word, it meant something slightly different, would you respond confidently? Probably not. Dogs rely heavily on patterns. Same word, same tone, same outcome. But if your commands change even slightly, your dog gets confused. What this reveals is deeper than it seems. Your dog follows you because they trust your presence, but they don't obey because your communication feels unpredictable. And here's where it gets even deeper. 3. Following you is how they track their safe base. Ever notice how your dog doesn't just follow you randomly? They watch you. They track your movement. They stay within a certain distance. Most people think it's cleanness, but here's what's actually happening. Dogs use proximity and scent to maintain connection. A 2021 study from the University of Helsinki found that dogs can recognize and prioritize their owner's scent, even in complex environments. But what matters is this. Your dog isn't just recognizing you. They're orienting around you. Think about that for a second. In your dog's world, you are the safe base. Like a center point, they orbit around. That's why they follow you from room to room. They're keeping their safety anchor within reach. What this reveals about how your dog sees you is powerful. You are not just their owner. You are their reference point for security. And, hey, if this makes sense to you, hit like and subscribe. It helps us reach more dog owners who actually want to understand what their dog is really saying. 4. This behavior comes from pack survival instincts. Now let's go deeper. Because this behavior didn't start in your living room. It started thousands of years ago. In the wild, wolves don't wander far from their pack leader or core group. Separation can mean danger. So what do? They stay close. They follow. They monitor movement. Here's what's actually happening. Your dog isn't just following times you. Asterisk. They're following an instinct that says, stay close to the one who provides safety. Think about that for a second. Even as a puppy, dogs learn quickly. Stay near warmth. Stay near protection. Stay near guidance. But here's the key difference. In a natural pack, leaders also provide clear signals. Movement, direction, boundaries. If those signals are unclear, confusion happens. What this reveals is critical. Your dog's instinct tells them to follow you, but your communication determines whether they can follow your time's guidance. Asterisk. And this is where the gap begins. 5. They don't do this with everyone. Let's be honest. Your dog doesn't follow everyone like this. Guests come over, and your dog might greet them, but they don't shadow them from room to room. Most people assume it's just familiarity. But here's what's actually happening. Following is selective. Your dog chooses who to attach to, who to track, who to rely on. Think about that for a second. Out of everyone in their world, they chose you as their constant point of reference. That's not random. That's emotional investment. What makes this even more powerful is this. Your dog already sees you as someone important enough to follow, but obedience requires something more. Clarity, consistency, leadership, not dominance, not control, but clear, predictable communication. And here's where it all connects. 6. Following without obeying is a sign of confusion, not disrespect. This is the part most people never realize. You think your dog is ignoring you, but your dog thinks they're doing the right thing. They stay close. They watch you. They respond emotionally. But when you give a command, they hesitate. Here's what's actually happening. Your dog is prioritizing emotional connection over instruction because one is clear and the other isn't. Think about that for a second. From your dog's perspective, being near you gleich good. Commands equal sometimes unclear. So what do they choose? The thing that feels safest. This is where most owners get it wrong. They try to fix obedience with repetition or frustration. But the real solution is clarity. Consistent tone. Consistent cues. Clear outcomes. What this reveals about your dog is actually beautiful. They're not rejecting you. They are choosing connection because it's the only thing they fully understand. And that leads to the most important insight of all. So when your dog follows you everywhere, but won't obey your commands, that's not stubbornness. That's not disobedience. That's attachment without clarity. You think it's loyalty, but actually it's your dog saying, I trust you. I just don't fully understand you yet. And that behavior following you from room to room, staying close, watching your every move, was never small to your dog. And it shouldn't be small to you either.